Alright, this video is a battery system in an RV. It's two 200 amp hour lithium batteries. They're wired in parallel, so the total storage is 200 plus 200, 400 amp hours total. The negative terminal's hooked to the shunt here, and this little battery monitor is watching in and out, so it's calculating amp hours. It's calculating solar coming in, power going out, and it's deciding how many amp hours went in and out of the battery. I've got a main battery on-off switch there, so if you turn that off, it kills battery power to everything. We have two solar panels on the roof. Those are wired in parallel, and they come down and hit this MPPT 150 charge controller by Victron. It's a Bluetooth charge controller, and so you can connect to it via your phone. The solar is protected by this 50 amp circuit breaker. The 50 amps of solar on the bottom, and the inverter breaker on the top. They have a 150 amp breaker for this inverter, because we're not going to be drawing more than that off of this inverter given the loads in the RV. I have two bus bars, one for the negative terminals, one for the positive terminals. Those hooked to this inverter. That's hooked to the terminals there, so the inverter output comes through the Romex here and then comes out to this outdoor plug. They can then plug into that, run it around, and hook it up to the RV. So in off-grid mode, you would then turn that little switch to remote. The gray wire going in is the remote, so once they can run the remote up front, you can then turn off and on the inverter via the remote. So in off-grid mode, you turn that to remote, you turn the inverter on. That sends power through the Romex into the outdoor plug, and then the extension cord takes power around to where the AC or shore power comes into the RV, and then that powers up the panel inside. So battery monitor again, the red wire coming out the bottom is the power that powers this screen. It also powers the electronics that's watching the whole shunt, and that's hooked to the positive terminal of the battery. Again, that's the charge controller. We've got two 400 watt solar panels on the roof for 800 watts total, and so that's going to max out this charge controller pretty good. And good inverter here, 2000 watts will run everything they want to. Microwave. We did some testing and found that a couple breakers run a water heater, so we have made little sticky notes to turn off the water heater on the AC breaker and turn that to gas when you're in off-grid mode. It is running the refrigerator right now in the electric mode, so in good sunny days you should be able to have plenty of juice to run that. And that's about it. And there's the old house battery, so if all else fails and you need 12 volt, that battery could be charged from time to time with a standard charger and then used if you want to. Didn't remove it because it's kind of stuck in there. So this battery box I made out of some plywood that just houses kind of everything, keeps it all nice. This is just one of those like on-off switches, so it's not one of those 1-2 battery. It's just a big on-off, and that's just the main disconnect. And that's about it.